Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a Wednesday evening video. Right here on the very legendary Home of All Things Ranting. It is the one and only G Rants channel. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like the video. Hit that subscribe button down there in the description box below, as we are on the road to 600 subscribers. We're way over the hump of 500 right now. We're getting close to 550. So, thank you for subscribing to my channel so far. And for anybody who is new to my channel, if you're thinking about subscribing, please subscribe to the channel down below. Show my other channels your love and support as well. All the links are down below in the gobbledygook. So, do it now. And if you're a new subscriber, well, welcome to the party, pal. We have that cold one, and enjoy the show. So, make sure you hit that like button. Share the video with your friends if you want. You don't have to. If you want to leave a comment, go ahead. But don't leave stupid comments. You'll get blocked. You don't like it, tough shit. And don't forget to tap that bell for more. And that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday night. Well, not Wednesday night yet. We're getting there. But it's Wednesday evening, September the 10th, 2025. The eve before 9/11. 9/11 is tomorrow. The 24th anniversary of the horrific 9/11 attacks that hit New York and Pennsylvania and Virginia 24 years ago tomorrow. So, it's pretty much Patriot Day tomorrow, so some of you might have off work tomorrow, some of you might not. So, but it is a day of remembrance tomorrow, and for those of you who have family members that were killed in 9/11, my heartfelt condolences go out to you and your families for that. I know Zelina Vega lost her dad, so gonna be a sad day for Zelina Vega tomorrow. We're gonna have that 9/11 memorial service tomorrow morning at the World Trade Center, and lots of security last night, tonight, tomorrow, especially tomorrow. Really tonight and tomorrow morning, and pretty much I think throughout the day tomorrow. So you gotta go on the subway or the buses. Wherever you gotta go tomorrow is gonna be, a lot of police presence, especially in New York City, downtown Manhattan, maybe some Brooklyn area. But if you're in the New York City area, just be aware of your surroundings, and hopefully tomorrow is just another day. But we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, we got that. But tomorrow is a special day in America, the 24th anniversary of 9/11, and where were you people on 9/11? Where was I? Well, I was sleeping, basically, and my dad woke me up, like, around after 8 o'clock, knocked on my door. He's like, "Pete, you up?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Put on channel 4. The Twin Towers went down." I'm like, "What?" I thought I was dreaming. So I'm like, wake up, wipe the cold out my eye, and all that shit. Put on channel 4. They say, I see the second tower is starting to come down. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck? Like I said, I thought I was dreaming. But nope, it was actually true. And I'm watching this, I'm like, oh shit, we're under attack. Like, global thermonuclear war started 15 years later. If you remember War Games, that great movie with Matthew Broderick. 85, mind you. So with that's what I thought was happening, but this is right around the time of the war on terror and all that shit, when we destroyed Saddam Hussein, and then eventually we got Osama bin Laden, one of the greatest things in U.S. history. Got those two fuckers. But we still gotta deal with, like, all this fucking terrorism with Iraq, Israel, and now Ukraine. Just This annoying shit. The world is not perfect. I mean, today we lost Charles Kirk. I'm not a big political guy. I don't watch a lot of CNN. My dad likes to watch Fox News religiously. But, I've seen Charles Kirk. I think I've seen a few videos where he's at all these different events, and all these people are, like, yelling at him and shit, and he's trying to, like, he's, like, basically owning these people, like, oh, you did this and this, and he's just like, okay, whatever, you believe this, okay, here's my rebuttal. Shuts them up pretty quick. But, there was a shooting today at the University of Utah, I believe, and, Charles Kirk got shot in the neck. Ugh. And passed away. Great man, he had a beautiful wife and 2 kids. Oh, I don't know what this was over. It had to be some political BS, basically. But a man's life was taken away from his family. 2 little bitty kids are without their father right now. It's just sad. And a wife is without her husband. Donald Trump said stuff on CNN earlier. I'm just getting wind of this now. I'm looking up at Facebook and Twitter and everything. Everything is like Charles Kirk, Charles Kirk, Charles Kirk. I'm like, this is why everywhere you live. It's always gonna be fucking tension, whether you're on the left, you're on the right, you're down the middle, daddy. You can't be happy. Republicans are mad at Democrats. Democrats are mad at Republicans. Republicans and Democrats are mad at independents. Everybody's on the moderate or the conservative or whatever, or liberal, whatever it may be. They hate. Oh, we hate our mayor. We hate our president of the United States. Nobody's ever fucking happy. And then you have idiots who, go to the University of Utah and shoot up the university. And sadly, Charles Kirk passed away because he got, like, shot in the neck. Just like this guy who shot him had to be ex-military, because there's no way that if he was, like, on the upper deck or wherever he was and he had precision shooting, he was like a marksman, shot the guy in the neck. I mean, the guy that shot Trump, he was like this close to shooting him in the head. Like last year. I believe it was last year. But, when we saw Trump go like this, like, and then we heard more shots and he went down and all the Secret Service are like ganging up on him. And then he got up like, yeah, nothing will kick my ass, These people don't like Trump. They don't like anybody in politics, basically. And they think they want to take the law into their hands. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go assassinate Trump. I'm going to do this and that. You're an idiot. If you don't like the way the country is, get out. Bye-bye, so long, farewell. Go somewhere else. I ain't going to help where you go. Whether you go to Canada, whether you go to Mexico, whether you go to Antarctica, who cares? It's going to be the same fucking shit. Well, I don't know about Antarctica, but, it's cold down there. But, good luck there. But, wherever you go, there's going to be some bullshit. Do I like the way Trump is leading the nation right now? Not really, but I go about my business. I care less. I'm not going to go up and shoot President Trump in the head or some shit like that. I'm not the type of guy that would do something like that. But there's these people that are just wacko! They're burning flags, which is now a criminal offense. When they're doing shit like this, I keep saying guns should be given out to just the military and the cops. How in the world are freaking gun stores being, still around? Why? Why is a gun dispensary still around in certain states and countries? Why? Oh yeah, we need it for our own protection. Yeah, it's one thing, but still, do you really need a gun? If you're not a cop, or you're not part of the military or anybody else, do you actually really fucking need a gun? Back in the day, some people didn't even need guns to protect themselves. They use this or a knife or whatever. I mean, that's a different thing, but still. Any way to protect yourselves, I think a gun is just like going way too extreme. That's just my view. I think the Second Amendment should be rewritten. I'm not going the whole Ted Nugent route, but, but it is what it is. I have my own beliefs about guns, and I have my own beliefs about, America and all that shit, but I'm not a political channel. I try to keep to myself, but it is what it is. But, to Charles Kirk's family, I send my condolences out to you. It's just another horrific day in the world of politics and in America. It's just the way it is. It's going to be that forever until we're all dead, It's just bad. It's just bad. But anyway, minus all that, I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. For all my wrestling people, we got Dynamite coming up in about an hour. Should be a pretty good show from Philly. Still at the ECW Arena residence for, I think this is the final week, or maybe next week. Because we are 10 days away from All Out Toronto, which will get destroyed by WrestlePalooza. So, it is what it is. And yes, I am wearing the official Hangman Page Bullet Club shirt. Gonna do some cowboy shit later. That's later. We got that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching my channel and all that stuff. I actually found out this morning that this channel has gone over 100,000 views overall. So, thank you for that. Thank you for watching my shorts, my epic fucking shorts. Not my shorts I'm wearing, but, they're epic too. But, but thank you for watching my shorts and watching some of my rants, which are, as always, legendary. But, it is what it is. But this video, as the title below says, not a rant, but it's something that needs to be talked about. Now, I've done videos on my other channel, my Shadow Slayer channel, talking about my journey with dealing with mental health, with depression and anxiety and blah blah blah. I've done a couple of videos on my other channel with that, so I've done that. Now, if you didn't watch Monday Night Raw, why didn't you? AJ Lee, that ass, came out and did a humongous promo, basically kind of reintroducing herself, per se. And talking about, she was out of wrestling for 10 years to find herself. She was dealing with a lot of mental health, so that was nice. Everybody's like, great. And she brings up therapy and everything, and then all the marks in the audience like, therapy, therapy, therapy. I thought that was like, what? But yeah, it was great, that AJ Lee, a proponent to mental health, comes back, talks about that. And I thought it was great that she talked about it, kind of brought a little tear to my eye a little bit, but because I've dealt with mental health and for pretty much 30 years. Ever since I was like 17, 18 years old, I've been diagnosed with general anxiety disorder, which is basically the same thing as depression. Not bipolar. It's not bipolar. I'm not diagnosed with it. I don't have symptoms of it. You're not a doctor, so if you think I have bipolar, well, here's to you. Because you're not a doctor. I don't have like schizophrenia, I don't have delusional disorder, I don't have bipolar. You're not a doctor. So when you say those things, guess what? That's slander. I have to actually be diagnosed. Do you have my medical records? No, you don't. So fuck you, okay? For saying that shit. Because if you had it, and you actually had it, I have full reign to do that. But I don't have it, so you don't have full reign to say shit. But it is what it is. I also have impulse control disorder, which is, I just like to have the last word, and that's why I go back and forth with mindless zombies, who think they're better than me, and they're not. And they never will be. They can say the worst fucking shit, and it brings me down a little bit, but, is it gonna break me? No. It awakens me. And like I did on my short last night, with, I used Blake Monroe, Mariah May's little NXT thing about with her in her bathtub and the red lights and everything. She's turning evil and everything. It says, you didn't break me, you awoken me. Basically telling Jordan Grace, you just fucked up. So basically, when people try to bring me down, it just fuels me to just keep going and get stronger and showing these people that they can't break me, they can't do shit to me, whether it be face to face on YouTube or in general. Nobody's gonna break me. Nobody's gonna stop me from saying what I gotta say, and that's it. And if they want to call me a hypocrite, you want to call me, this and that, I don't care. Because I'm still going to be better than you every single minute, every single day, every single hour. You're not going to be better than me in anything. I got the best job in the world. Well, good for you. Still, does it make you better than me because you make more money than me? No. It's just, job is a job. You can work at a sewer making $50,000 a year. I'm working in music. I'm making $25,000 a year. Big fucking whoop, Doesn't mean you're better than me. I make more money than you. So what? So what? Does that make you really better than me? No. So, cállate la boca. But, But it is what it is. But people think they're better than me, they're not. Straight up. But, AJ Lee's promo really got me going and really hit like a big sweet spot because mental health has never been talked about. I don't know why there's nobody talking about mental health. You rarely see it talked about in wrestling. I think Eli Drake talked about it one time. I think Punk did. I know Punk did. In AEW, I think one time. Drew McIntyre, I think did it one time. But you don't see it much in wrestling. Because, certain wrestlers want to keep their private life private. Shit like that. I understand that. And, they succumb to the wild world of social media where everybody is an asshole online, whether it be X, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever it is, people have their own fucking opinions about a wrestler or about this and that, and then, they stalk them, and then this and that. It's just stupidity, and it gets to the point where it gets a little bit out of hand. We see this, in junior high schools and public schools where all these kids are getting bullied to the point that these kids can't take it anymore, and then they're kill themselves because they get bullied by these idiots, and nothing really gets done. The parents might get in trouble, and the kid goes to jail or whatever, or expelled. But yeah, that happens. Well, we'll put the kid in jail, but that doesn't save the family from losing their son or daughter, does it? No. Even if the kid goes to a teacher or goes to a guidance counselor or goes to the principal and says, "Oh, these kids are bullying me," blah blah blah, and the principal does, "No, we'll talk to the parents." Yeah, right. They don't do shit, and then it keeps happening every day, every week. The kids are getting bullied. They're coming home crying up a storm. They're telling their parents. Parents are trying to do what they can. Then next thing you know, they're trying to get the help, and then the next day the kid's dead. Like, they're at night, they wake up in the morning, they see a suicide note, and then like the body's in the river or some shit. But you don't see a lot of YouTube videos and people on YouTube talking about mental health, and I think it's stupid. I believe mental health is probably one, not the, but one of the main things that people die from, besides getting shot at or whatever it may be. Crime. It's not a crime per se, but mental health is one, on that list of what kills people the most. I'm not saying the top, but I'm saying it's there, and it really should be talked about more. Because especially in the world of professional wrestling, where we had the Hana Kimura incident, where Hana Kimura was a great Japanese wrestler. She wrestled in Ring of Honor for a little bit. Fans loved her. Even in Stardom and Joshi, she was ready to hit the big time. I think she could have been in WWE, maybe in NXT, or could have been in Ring of Honor full time, or maybe could have went to AEW if she would have stayed around. But sadly, these idiots on YouTube and on social media, they go, you're a bitch, you're this and that. Started bullying her up the wazoo, and next thing you know, she killed herself. 21, 22-year-old girl. Over stupidity. Because marks think they're great. These fucking wrestling marks. I know mark is a overused term. I know it is. I said it on X. That mark is probably one of the most overused terms to call a wrestling fan in wrestling history. It is overused. What else are you going to call us then? Idiots? But still, yeah, Hana Kimura passed away. And it really, broke our hearts, because I think she could have been a big, huge star. And then years later, Daphne passes away the same way. She got bullied. She does an live Instagram feed show. She's crying. She doesn't know what to do. The fans are telling her to go to her mom, go to the hospital, go to the cops. Next morning, she's dead. And then I had to hear it from Jenna or Jerry. And I'm trying to get in touch with Shannon, Daphne. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then I hear the next morning, we just celebrated her four-year anniversary of her passing this past week. Or last week, I should say. I had to wake up in the morning, and General Jerry hits me up on Facebook and says, hey, Pete, did you hear what happened to Daphne? I go, no. He sends me the fucking link. And I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, no, wait. I read the thing, and my tears are coming down my eyes. And at first you think it's bullshit, right? Because everything's bullshit. But, I looked at it, I looked it up on Google, because you have to look everything up on Google. And then, lo and behold, it's true. It was true that Shannon Spruill, a.k.a. Daphne, passed away from suicide. Why? Because she was bullied by all these marks. And I know all wrestlers get attacked online. It doesn't matter who you are. Some people take down their Twitter. They take down their social media because they can't, they have to get death threats, so they have to get this and that from morons because they don't like them. I don't like John Cena, but am I going to go on X, or I'm going to go on Instagram or on YouTube and say, oh, John Cena, fuck you, I wish you were dead, I know I said that about Roman. I know people are going to bring up the Roman incident. I hated his character. There's a difference between hating a character and hating the man that plays the character. Okay? You get that? There's going to be a test. I never hated Joe Anoa'i, the man who plays Roman Reigns, the character. I never hated him. I hated Roman Reigns, the character, because he was getting rammed down our throats for much of 2018. Then he comes out in 2019 with his whole leukemia thing, and it like put a maybe I shouldn't have so much hate for Roman, the character, because when he came out and said, I got leukemia, I'm going to be taking some time off, I even shed a tear, because, leukemia is a really bad disease and shit. But, ever since he came out and said, I got leukemia, y'all, I was like, you know what? I went on video, and I apologized to the WWE fans. I apologized to Roman himself for the words, and, I didn't mean any of the words, like, I want him to die of leukemia and shit like that. So I made the apology, which was 2018, I think. Then he comes back, he comes back on Raw, and he says, I'm in remission, y'all, and I was like, yes! And from that day on, I have been a Roman Reigns fan. Not because of another YouTuber that religiously loves the guy. So if you think that, you need your head examined. Thoroughly. I don't like Roman because of a hot Puerto Rican YouTuber that loves him, okay? No, I loved Roman since he came back. Pretty much since the day he said he was in remission. From 2019 on, 5 years. Maybe 6 years, to think about it. My tribal chief. I will always acknowledge my tribal chief. Every day. But, yeah, I have a hate for John Cena, because he was getting rammed down our throats for years. Same thing with Charlotte Flair. But I'm not going to go on social media or go on YouTube and say, Charlotte Flair should fucking die in a fire. Or John Cena should get hit by a car. Stuff like that. I'm not going to go say that because it's not right for me to say that. But it is what it is. And on the other side of the coin, you're like, oh, Peter, you wish death on a baby, you wish death on people, and this and that. Well, but I have every right to do that, because if you say it to me, I have full right to say it to you, eye for an eye. So if you don't like it, tough shit. But even if when I said it, I know it's wrong to say that shit, and I said that to some people back in the day, wishing cancer and all that other shit, but on my apology videos, which were heartfelt, by the way, I just said I was in the moment, I wasn't thinking straight, I wasn't blaming my condition on all this shit, I was legit pissed off, because I lost some good friends, because fucking idiots had to go around and mess with them and their families and my family and everything, just because they hate me. And I said it before and I'll say it again. You may not like me, but you're going to learn to respect me in some way. If you can't respect me, then you should not watch my videos. I said that for 16 years now. I almost said 18, but 16. 16 years and counting now. I said it. If you don't like me or what I say on my videos, including this one, don't watch it. Go to your dead channel with minimal views and talk your shit there, okay? Nobody's gonna care. The same thing with the critique community or the reaction community. You can react to this video. I'm not gonna personally give two fucks. Whether you laugh at it and or your moron friends in the chat rooms like, Peter deserves this and this, This is what you deserve, right here. You deserve to go through the same shit I do. But that's another story for another time. But I've gone through so many therapists, I've gone through so much shit. And I'm not playing the pity party, I'm not playing any type of card if I'm on a certain person's YouTube watch along. I'm in the chat and I say certain things. I'm not playing a card like, oh, pray for me, this and that, or pray for my family, pray for my friends, whatever. I'm not asking for pity. I don't want pity. I don't want attention. I don't need this and that. And like I said, I'm not playing any type of poor me card. So if you think that, once again, fuck you. Because it was you, and it was somebody like me, saying, ha, you're a fuck you, Me ramming my thoughts down your throat. Because your life is shit. So, whether you want to call me a hypocrite or not, I don't personally care. But I dealt with this demon, no pun intended, we kill with demons, but I dealt with this demon called depression for, 30 years almost. Pretty much 30 years. And it's just been, every day's a struggle with me. I wake up in the morning, like feeling like P. Diddy. No, actually, no, take that back. Fuck P. Diddy. Yeah, but I wake up every morning, I thank God for another beautiful day, and I just take it from there, whether it be a great day, whether I'm at work, or I go out with the missus, or I do anything. I try to have a good day, but, sometimes you get up and you feel like shit. Like, I don't want to get up. Why get up? But you gotta get up because you got appointments to go to, you got this and that. You gotta live your life, you just can't be in bed all day. I mean, if we were all paid to stay in bed, I think we'd all be in bed by now, right? But, mental health needs to be talked about. And I think it needs to be talked about more in professional sports and on YouTube and in more on social media. Not in a mean way, but I'm talking about in a positive way. Because there's a lot of people that suffer like I do. I'm not perfect. Did I ever say I was perfect? I sometimes I think I am, but But I'm not a perfect guy. I'm not the perfect gentleman or whatever it may be. I'm not perfect. I know I act wacky and I say random weird things. I do my impressions. I talk to, Mikey boy, like, hey, how you doing? Stuff like that. It's just satire. Doesn't mean, I'm weird. In real life, I'm a pretty chill guy. And I met people from YouTube. I met a few people from YouTube, actually. I met Hugh Steven. I met a few people that know me pretty well. I don't say anything bad about them. I try to act differently than I act on here. I know I try to act normal on here, but I bring a little bit of my comedy and satire, like I said, to my channel. My channels. I should say channels. Whether you like it or not, that's, your own prerogative. I try to bring positivity and knowledge because I'm very knowledgeable in wrestling. I'm very, very knowledgeable in music. People want to debate me about music, but I mean, there is nothing to debate because your opinions are like yourselves, an asshole. People have the worst opinions about somebody. It's just retarded. I personally don't like certain rappers like Ren and Kendrick Lamar. I think they suck. They like mumble rap. What? Wait, are you talking English? I mean, yeah, sell a lot of records, great for you, but it's not my cup of tea. My cup of tea is, in this moment, Satan Almighty, stuff like that. Because that's what fuels me and everything. I'll listen to some In This Moment, some Slayer, stuff like that. Conquer Divide. I'll even go way back and listen to some 80s stuff. And when I'm having a bad day, I'm pissed off. Whatever it may be, I throw on some In This Moment, listen to it, and I'm like about 30 minutes in, I'm done. I'm fine. I'm like, what was I mad about today? Like nothing. Music soothes the soul. So I listen to Disturbed. I listen to Papa Roach or whatever I feel like listening to, and I'm fine after that. I still feel pissed, but after a while, I'll just like forget about whatever I was pissed off at. Whether it be arguing with the missus or just in general. And she's got to deal with her own shit too. I never said she's perfect either. My friends, the friends I have, they're not perfect. Do I mock them for, having mental disabilities or mental condition? No. If they're having a bad day, I'm always there for them. That's why I love being in a community that I'm in right now that loves each other and is there and has everybody's back. Unlike other communities I've been in, like the IWC and the YWC, which both are pretty much dead. Because you got these people who just have really stupid opinions about shit and about life itself. I mean, we got guys like talking about, 30 reasons why women of this generation suck. Sorry to bring you up, but it's true. I mean, that's why you're probably, that's why you're a virgin. Because you hate women, and that's why you'll never probably get a woman. You're gonna talk shit like that. What kind of woman would want you? Like, I don't like how women, with their hair and all this shit. I mean, really, are you really trying to find the perfect woman? There is no perfect woman. I wish there was, but there's not. But, I mean, really, does any real woman gonna put up with that shit? I don't think so, buddy. And I may not have the greatest looking woman. It's whatever to me. I don't care what people say about, who they call her Shrek or whatever they want to call her. I don't care because she chose me. I didn't choose her. She chose me. And any woman I dated or I've been with before then, I didn't choose them. They chose me. Because I was a shy guy back in the day. I still am when I go meet random people. Whether it be I'm at a concert and there's a lot of hot chicks around. I don't go up and say, "Hey, baby, what's going on? What high school did you go to?" I don't try to be the center of attention. I'm shy, or if I have something to say, if it's random girls talking like, "Oh, this moment's great," I'm like, "Yeah, they are great." And then I'll add a few things in, and then, we strike up a conversation. It's good, Not that I want to, get with them, I mean, I've had, at certain concerts, girls wanted to, come home with me. I'm like, "Oh, no, can't touch the merchandise." Sorry. Not that they were in drunken states or anything. That's another subject for another time, but yeah, I'm a shy guy, so I don't just go up to random girls like, "Hey, you want to go out? You want to fuck?" I'm like, nah. I'm not gonna go do that. Even before I met the missus, I was going out to clubs and, I was very shy and, I didn't dance with a lot of girls. I mean, here and there, yeah, some girls were like in their drunken state. They were just like pulling me to the dance floor, like, "Oh, come dance for me, let me dance up on your dick." I'm like, why not? Why not? I'm just there. Even if they're not in a drunken state, they just pick me out of the floor because I want to have a good time. And me being the shy guy that I am, and, dance with a few chicks, Some things got hot and heavy, I wanted to bang them back in the day, but, nothing ever happened because some of them lived too far. But that's another story for another time. But, you know, you know, it was hard back in the day meeting girls. I was so shy. My friends are like bringing girls over. I was like, Pete, come on, come kiss the girl, you know. And I'm like, you know, because I don't want to disrespect them and shit like that. And things get awkward, you know. You know, some of my friends had hot girlfriends. I wanted to, you know, I was like, yeah, these girls are hot. I would like love to bang them. And then, you know, one of the girls wanted to, was getting a little too, getting flirty with me. I didn't say I didn't mind it, you know. Sitting down in my friend's house watching TV. I was here. She comes over and says, "Can I sit over here?" I'm like, "Okay, fine." So she sits down next to me and puts her freaking head on my shoulder. And what am I gonna do? Put my arm around her shoulder because my shoulder's gonna die. I'm just being a nice guy, and then my friends come down. I was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, what am I expect her to do? I'm not doing anything wrong. Boundaries. Remember when I did a video about boundaries? I don't, you know, I'm not gonna take another man's woman and shit like that. Especially my best friends. Fuck that. I know my place, my boundaries. Hey, if they want to be with me, who am I to say anything? But, you know, I would tell them, like, yo, you're my best friend's girl. I'm not gonna disrespect him like that. You know. So maybe we can be friends, but we can't be more than that. And if you really wanted to jump my bones, but, you know. But it is what it is. But, you know, like I said, and, you know, I'm going to end it here pretty soon. Mental health needs to really be talked about. I'm glad that AJ's back and kind of, you know, putting that to the forefront. And people like Eli Drake and Drew McIntyre and even Punk, a few others maybe in AEW and NXT have said a few things here and there. One of them being, if you go back old school, Victoria, or Tara from TNA, she's a big proponent for mental health, and, you know, when she I don't know if she still has her podcast with, SoCal Val and Mickey James, you know, I think it was called, GAL, something like that. It was a good little YouTube show. I don't think they do it anymore, but they were talking about mental health, and even when I met Victoria, I think it was about a year or two ago, you know, we took the picture and everything, and then I was explaining to her about about one of the episodes that she did about mental health. I said it was a very good episode, and I told her about my story with mental health, and she, you know, she's like, "You're not alone," because you're not. Everybody that suffers from mental illness, you're not alone. You're just like everybody else. You know, good days are gonna come. You might have some really bad days, but don't go the route and just, you know, killing yourself in anything. You know, go to a friend, go to your parents, go to a counselor, a psychiatrist, therapist, whatever it may be, a cop. You know, people are here to help you, whether you're having a bad day or not. I know some people are gonna tell you things that you don't want to hear. Go to a priest. Go to church and pray. You know, but certain people are gonna tell you they're gonna tell you things. You're like, I don't give a fuck. You know, leave me alone. You know, but suicide ain't the answer to your problems. I know people that are getting bombarded by trolls, you know, for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. In certain ways, it's their stupidity, but those people that are doing it for 10 years should really get a fucking life. But that's another story for another time. But, yeah. Suicide is not the answer. I thought of suicide many, many, many times, but I never got to the point where I'm just gonna do it, you know? You know, I came close a couple of times, and, you know, I just broke down crying, and then next thing you know, I went right into therapy. But it's been a long journey, and I know I have some setbacks here and there, but, I'm on freaking medication and everything. I'm not going to show it, obviously, but I'm on so much medication, it's just insane. But not like 13 medications, but I'm on like 3. For my mental health, my physical health, I'm on 1. Really 2, but it's 1. But that's just for my back and my overall back, but whatever it is. But, I'm not going to let my mental illness I'm trying to get the word. I'm not going to let my mental illness shape my life. I know I'm 48 years old and I dealt with this, like I said, for 30 fucking years. And it's probably going to be with me until the day I fucking die. I gotta live with it. I like to live a normal life. Away from social media, away from all the bullshit that I gotta put up with. Whether it be just daily shit. People tell me to get off social media, get off YouTube, get away from toxic people. I'm like, I understand that, but, I want to live my life the way I want to live. I understand your concerns and your I feel like I'm on the people's court. I read your complaint, sir, it's like that. But I'm going to live my life the way I want to live. And like I said, on here, if people don't like my opinion, don't watch me. But you're going to watch me, why? Because you got nothing else in your fucking life to do. You're just going to watch me, clip my videos, put up on a lame as fuck Discord account, and then it goes to a critique channel that just bores, just ridiculously stupid. And do I care? No. I don't really give 2 fucks about what people say, because it's the same fucking boring arguments. Oh, Peter's playing the poor me card. He simps for OnlyFans. He does this, he does that. And to that I say, I don't give a fuck. First of all, I don't simp for OnlyFans because I don't have an OnlyFans account. I know there's like a lot of Twitter/OnlyFans bitches on Twitter that I'll randomly, like their post or anything, and I'll say a few compliments. That doesn't constitute as being a simp. Or if my Puerto Rican princess Issa dresses up, very provocatively on her watch-alongs, or, when she's at the events, she shows us the vlogs and everything. I'll go, hey, nice fit, nice dress, this and that. Or I'll say, nice fit in the chat, or whatever like that. It doesn't mean I'm simping for her or anything like that, because there's other guys in the chat that are doing the same fucking shit. Hypocrite? Much? Oh, you got a wife, why are you simping for her? First of all, Issa's my friend, and I'll give her compliments up the wazoo. I'm not gonna go overboard, but, like, oh, Issa, nice fit, I wanna fuck your ass, stuff like that. I'm not gonna say something stupid in the chat like that. Because I respect Issa, and I love what she does, because she's one of the rare female shooters on YouTube that talks wrestling. Is there anybody else on here that talks wrestling that's a female? Besides Denise Salcido and maybe Emily, who really doesn't do YouTube that much? She'll be on, on Flobo's channel with Jack Farmer and everything, Wrestling Inc. and stuff like that. But not many female YouTubers out there. Besides Issa, besides Denise Salcido, there's Minnie, that's one of Issa's friends. There's like maybe a handful, maybe a little bit more than that maybe some of them I don't know. I've never heard of. I know back in the day we had Nutty Rock Chick, we had Chick Kick, we had the Amazing Punk, I believe her name was. We had a few girls that were actually pretty damn good. Now they're pretty much history. But now there's not that many girls on social media or even on YouTube that are like really, really, really good. Besides Issa, Denise Salcedo, and Minnie, and maybe a few others that I don't know. I mean, if there are, have them come to my channel, let me watch them, and I'll think about maybe subbing to their channel, whatever it may be. But in any case, I'm not gonna disrespect them and all that shit. So people saying I'm simping for Issa or whoever, or OnlyFans chicks, you're crazy. You're just acting crazy. I'll give Issa a compliment on her fit, any day of the week, because she's a very attractive woman. She's she's in her, well, I can't say her age, but she's around my age, I would say, but I don't know exactly, but she's around, I would say she's in her 40s at least, but she's very, very attractive. If I was single, yeah, maybe I would pursue something like that, but I'm not, obviously, because I got my own problems here, and I love my woman. Sometimes she doesn't love me, sometimes, but, or she loved me last night, but that's not such a long time. But, in any case, ladies and gentlemen, to sum up my little thing here, mental health needs to really be talked about. I think, like people like AJ Lee and other people should really do more to get the word out, and us wrestling fans should get the word out about mental health. And if you have a friend that's suffering from mental illness, try to be there for them. Or there should be communities on YouTube and in social media that you can go to and just talk. And there's certain people like Adam Cole, baby, who has a great community on Twitch where it's like Issa's chat. We can talk about anything we want. If we're having a bad day, we come into the chat saying, hey, I'm having a bad day, just want to say hi to Adam or hi to Issa, or whoever it may be, Joe Cronin, people like that. But, and the chat room is just so, right there for people. They have such great hearts. They don't care about people's past. Oh, we don't care about your past. It was a different time, different time, we weren't there when this happened, blah, 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 we don't care. Doesn't mean you're a bad person or some shit like that. So as I know people want to bring that up to people. It's like, oh, you gotta watch for this guy, he's kind of a loopy. You should just kick him out of your freaking community. Just because you don't like him, I'm gonna kick him out of, have those people that are good friends with you basically have nothing to do with you. I mean, I had that 3 years ago. With people that I thought were cool, and shit happened, and I got mad, and I said some mean things to them, which I still take back to this day. But, I wish them well in their future endeavors, and if by the grace of God Almighty, maybe just, some of them will actually have a heart, and they want to reach out to me, fine. I'll talk to you, but, if you still have, some hatred for me, that's fine. Alright, you still have hatred for me, fine, We don't have to be friends, or if you want to be civil, that's fine. You don't have to be best friends forever, I'll still support your channel, I'll still support you, whatever you do, but, if you still have hatred for me, then that's fine. But just, keep it to yourself. Those people that I threw under the bus back 3 years ago, I don't hate them. I just hate myself for not listening to them and stopping all that bullshit that happened back in the day. Because it was stupid. Just because guilty by association bullshit. Which I think is a stupid card to play. I know the family card and other shit, that's bad. That's another card that people shouldn't play, but, But like I said, sometimes you have to do eye for an eye. Sometimes, not all the time, but people that do that really should not be on YouTube. We should be in a slammer. I'll defend my family and I'll defend my friends till the day I die. And that's straight up. And the missus too. I will defend anybody I can. Do I need to? No, because I should just. I hate letting things go. Just like, oh, they're saying this and that. Let them handle it. But I'm so loyal to my friends, to people and some of my friends that I hate seeing them getting attacked. Just because, you're friends with Peter Gilmore, for 10, 15, 20 years, he's a, did you see what he said on YouTube lately? You think they're going to care that much? Probably not. But if you keep harassing them, then it becomes like, why? It's just stupid. Do you see me harassing a whole bunch of other people and their friends? No. I care less about them. But it is what it is. Bottom line is, if you don't like me, too fucking bad, because I'm going to be here on your YouTube screens, your computer screens, your phone screens, for as long as I can. And if you don't like it, there's the door. Just hit the X button on your computer or on your device. Don't watch. But you're going to watch because you got nothing else to do. And thank you for your support. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep saying what I got to say about the world of professional wrestling. If there's a lot of things I hate, and I'm going to give my opinion about it. If you don't like it, well, that's too bad. I might not like certain people's opinions, but I'm not going to go 5 months back and forth with the same dumb fuck about having an opinion about Roman or about, the state of the WWE or AEW. I know people hate AEW, shitty, but that's their own opinion. They're a bunch of fucking shills that think that. Do 6,000 fucking videos about how AEW sucks. Think of their WJ and everything. 10 reasons why AEW sucks. I mean, that was funny back in the day. Now it's like, Here's a video. Oh, here's like 50 more videos. In the span of a week. I'm like, don't you got other things to do? You don't see me doing that shit. That's why I don't do rants like every fucking day or every week or whatever. If I have something that pisses me off, I'm gonna talk about it. But like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. That's that. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna talk to almost an hour now. So I'm gonna end it here. So if you're dealing with mental illness, like I said, go seek help from a priest, your parents, your friends, a cop, whoever it may be. Don't take your life into your own hands, and then we have the Hana Kimura effect or the Daphne effect, or just in general, There's always gonna be bullies, but bullies are just that. Bullies. They're dumb fucks that don't know any better. And then when they get bullied, they play the victim, and they're like, why are you bullying me? Because you bullied us first, so we have full reign. You don't like it? Tough shit. So don't come crying to me when you're getting bullied because you bully me, and I come back at you 100% more harder. That sounded wrong, but whatever. I come back at you 10 times harder, and you're like, stop! No. I'm not going to stop until you apologize. But none of you will apologize to me. And I'm not going to take some of your apologies, so you can go fuck yourselves. Some of you. Not all of you, but some of you. You know who you are. But it is what it is. And like I said, I don't care if this gets clipped, this gets, critiqued. I don't give a fuck. I don't. I'm going to keep being the same old Peter Joseph, Peter Gilmore, Peter whatever you want to call me. I'm still going to be Peter. A sexy beast from Brooklyn, New York. I need a shave, I know, but. I got my faults, but I'm still a man. Got a beard. 40. Well, not even 40. I'm almost 50. I know people are like, you're almost 50. Why don't you act your age? Some of you need to act your age too. Some of you 25, 30-year-old dumb fucks that think you're, I'm a tough guy on YouTube. I never said I'm a tough guy on YouTube. People say, you hide from people, this and that. You call the cops, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't make me a bad person. And I never hid from anybody. You think that, you're wacko. Because you think you can talk a game, but reality, you can't. And like I said, I never talk. I might talk a mean game. I can back up my shit if I need to. But do I really have to with certain people? No, because they're weak. They're weak, pathetic little, minuscule little dumb fucks from dumb fuck countries or states. I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, if you have you don't like my opinion, you have your own opinion, keep it to your fucking self. But if you want to, waste your time during hour, 2 hour long fucking boring as fuck live streams, go ahead. Go ahead and waste your life. I wasted an hour now talking about this shit, but it is what it is. But I wanted to come out here and talk about mental health and how it should be talked about more on YouTube and on social media. So I agree, and I'm very happy that AJ Lee, AJ Brooks, AJ Mendez, whatever you want to call it, is, been a big proponent for mental health. And I really think that mental health needs to be talked about on social media more, on YouTube, in real life, on the TV screen, on the news. Is it ever going to happen? I pretty much doubt it. And I know we're going to get more and more, on the news. We're going to hear more and more about kids getting killed because for bullying and everything like that. I know Kurt Cobain killed himself because of the fame and all that shit. The same thing happened with Chris Cornell, Robin Williams. The fame just got to them, they were depressed and shit like that. Even Chester Bennington, I don't think they should have killed themselves because of the fame or because of depression or whatever it might have been. I still think they could have led great lives. They should have went and got some help. Should have maybe some of the musicians should have took some time off tour to maybe go see talk to God, talk to a priest, or just take some time off tour, just to refuel and recharge and get their mind right. I know a lot of bands lately have been doing that. I listened to Conquer Divide, and a couple of the girls in the band had to take some time off the tour to deal with their mental health. Corey Taylor, anyone? Corey Taylor had a lot of mental health problems. He had to take some time off tour. When he's not doing Slipknot tour, his Stone Sour tour, he had to take off some time to get his head right. And because he was having anger problems, with his hot wife Alicia, and and thankfully, Corey's doing much better. Kia and I think Samantha of Conquer Divide had to take some time off to get their, get to work on their mental health. I know other bands and artists are doing that too, and I think that's great. I know you can't live the life of luxury. You're a big star. You're going on tour 365 days a year. It gets to you. You need to take some time out for yourself. Especially here on YouTube. You could be on here for 18 years. You never took a break. But if you really need to take a break because you're having problems with your mental health, or it's not gonna hurt you to take a break. I taken breaks, and it doesn't hurt me. I know I miss it a lot, but it doesn't hurt me. And I've taken at most 6 months off back in 2017. I took the entire from June to June 2016 to January 2017, I took 6 months off. I didn't even look at YouTube. I mean, I did, but I didn't do videos. I needed to take a break. Because I was just getting bombarded. It's not because of trolls or anything. I needed to take a break. People think that, they're like, oh, I got Peter off YouTube for 6 months. That's a lie. Nobody can get me off YouTube for 6 months. Even if I wanted to take 6 months off, it's not because of dumb fucks from different dumb fuck countries. If I want to take a break, I'm going to take a break. Oh, you don't take a break. You're still in our chat room. No, I'm legit on break. Whether I leave a comment on somebody's video or not, I'm still on break. So, if you think that, you got problems. But that's that. But anyway, leave me your thoughts and opinions about, mental health, and if you're dealing with mental health, I hope you're getting better. And if you're in trouble, please do not do the Hana Kimura and Daphne route. Don't go down that route, because suicide is not the answer. Just listen to some music, go outside, take a walk, go see some friends, go to the hospital, go somewhere, and get some help. I know life is not easy. We live in a really fucked up world. We may hate our parents, we may hate our friends, we may hate our teachers, and this and that. But we've got to keep going on. You just can't say, oh, I hate this life, then next thing you know, you're dead. When you could have had a great rest of your life. If you killed yourself in your 20s, you missed your 30s, 40s, 50s, you could have been married with kids, grandkids, this and that. You're leaving your friends behind, you're leaving loved ones behind, and then you're up there. You could be in purgatory, because there's really no hell, but, you're missing out on good times. And as much as, some days I want to kill myself, I don't want to leave great people behind, like my family, the missus, and, all the great people that I met along the way for my 48 plus years. I don't want to give all that up. And none of you should either. So if you're dealing with this type of shit, like I said before, please go get help. There's hotlines, there's suicide hotlines, there's this and that. There's other ways to deal with mental illness. So, if you're dealing with it, please go get some help. And that's all I gotta say about that. Alright, we're getting ready for AEW Dynamite! Coming up in about 8 minutes from now, so thank you all for watching, and I hope you learned something. If not, then, well, I'm sorry. But, that's all I gotta say about that. So, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my life. Even if it's very hectic. But, I'm going to enjoy my life and enjoy the friends I'm with on and off YouTube. Enjoy my family and, the missus, of course, and, just enjoy life. As crazy as my life is. I don't have the greatest life in the world, but, I gotta make the most of it. And I thank the Lord Jesus Christ, for blessing me with a voice, blessing me with great people around me, support system, and stuff like that. But that's it. That's it. Alright, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be true to yourself. Try to live life at 100%. But if life throws you a curveball, knock it out of the park. Don't take your life into, your own hands and do something you're going to regret later on. Because like I said, suicide is not the answer, and God does not believe in that shit. Because you're going to leave behind your loved ones and your families and stuff like that. And not going to be, when you get up to those pearly gates, it's not going to be a good time. But, even if God does forgive about that, but, even God said suicide is not great. But it is what it is. That's that. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.